This week, our beautiful sun, the sun within us, our consciousness, the life, is activating gate 14 in the I Ching and Gene Keys. This frequency is activating a genetic codon within our DNA that is stimulating our consciousness field. The theme of the life this week, the transformational path of this frequency, moves from the shadow of compromise to the highest frequency of bounteousness, and it's via the path of competence. In the life, compromise begins really early. We are born compromised. We incarnated carrying the seed to a sacred wound that was passed down to us through our ancestral DNA at the very point of conception. Everything on the 3D physical human plane is about making compromises, as we are not born whole. We are born with a question mark etched into our inner being, into the soul, and the life revolves around this question mark. There are many ways we can perceive and interpret this question mark. For example, what's my purpose? Why do I feel uncomfortable? And who am I? These questions typically come up consciously later in life, and for many they never come up, but they drive us, they drive the life on an unconscious level. So the first thing to understand about this shadow is that on Earth, compromise is the norm. It has become the norm. To learn how to stop compromising is the journey of awakening. That is the journey out of the dark and into the light. But first, let's get the basics of compromise really, really clear, because it can easily be misunderstood. So there are two types of compromises: outer compromise and inner compromise. So outer compromise. Let's just say that you have dinner plans with a close friend that you haven't seen in a long time, and you're really excited about it. But then your partner, your wife, your husband, maybe your family member tells you that they prefer that you don't go out because they don't feel well. So you make an outer compromise. You cancel your plans. You may be disappointed, but you decide to stay in. Now, of course, the other possibility is that you go against your partner's wishes. You convince them that they'll be fine on their own, and you go out anyway. Then you did not make an outer compromise. Now, the point of interest about both of these scenarios is what's going on internally, what's going on the inside. If you decided to cancel your plans and stay in because your love for your partner is greater than your disappointment, then you didn't make an inner compromise. You honored your integrity, your love, and your relationship. Even though you made an outer compromise, you didn't make a compromise on the inside. Now, if on the other hand, you decided to still go out and enjoy yourself while your partner is at home feeling terrible, ask yourself, did you make an inner compromise? Have you compromised your love and the integrity of your relationship, your partner's wishes, and perhaps maybe your own honor? It's interesting to consider and contemplate these scenarios in the life, because the life is filled with outer compromises. But the key here is what is going on the inside. To live the life without any outer compromises would involve huge selfishness. Inside is where the gold is hidden. How to overcome our selfish tendencies, to compromise our higher self, to compromise our inner integrity, our inner honor. To live a life without inner compromise is to live a life of deep honor and virtue. So ultimately, the question is of the heart. Have you compromised love? What would love do in this situation? That's the question. I know it's a delicate dance. I know it could feel really difficult to stay with what you know is right on the inside when you're faced with external pressure. There is often an expectation to behave in a certain way in society, and the only way to navigate through these decisions is to contemplate your motives in the life. The one thing that always holds true is when it results with an inner compromise. Because when you make an inner compromise, it doesn't feel good inside. It doesn't feel good in the body. A part of you shrinks. A part of you contracts. Now, for most of us, this has become a habit, the compromise of our dreams. At some point, we let it all slip away into the background and settled for a second best life, a fearful life. Think about the decisions that you make as you contemplate this shadow. On the outside, there will always be many compromises, but on the inside, stay true with what feels right in the heart. What would love do? The dilemma of the 14th shadow is self-belief. People have stopped believing in themselves. People are okay with being small, average, homogenized, maintaining the world. If you are compromising your heart in the life, you are nothing more than furniture on a movie set. I know this sounds harsh, but it's true. To live a life of genius, you have to start believing in yourself again. You have to get in touch with your heart, with your dreams. Now, because we may have lived most of the life until now making many, many inner compromises, we may feel like we're trapped. But you are not. You're never trapped. You can begin right now, starting today. You can start by making small decisions and actions that don't compromise your inner integrity, that don't feel good in the body. Even one uncompromising act a day will make a huge difference. The more you make it a habit, the more it becomes your nature, the more you'll start believing in yourself. One of the qualities that comes with this shadow is poverty consciousness. So many people struggle with money. In this I Ching, in this Jinki, you will find the secrets to poverty and prosperity. This I Ching, the 14th frequency, is paired with the first frequency, the first I Ching, the most creative capacity in the universe. Together they create the codon ring of fire. Prosperity comes from genius, from creative uniqueness. If you have the 14th I Ching in your energetic profile, or you're contemplating this frequency, it can bring about the physical, emotional, and mental capacity to really succeed in the life, to excel. This is the energy of great fortune, and why at the shadow it seems to create the exact opposite. People seem to always attract bad luck. In the original I Ching, the ancients named this hexagram, this frequency, possession in great measure. It's about the inner fire, so making the inner decisions in the life that ignite the inner fire inside, rather than the inner decisions that blow out the inner fire of love. And yes, you're going to have to make many sacrifices. We all do. And yes, you'll have many disappointments. We all do. But underneath it all, you'll begin to start believing in yourself again. Give yourself permission to believe in yourself. Give yourself permission to dream again. Take the actions that bring you closer to your dreams. So it's less about the action. It's more about the quality of the action. It's getting your sense of personal power back. The 14th gift, the way to alchemize the shadow and raise the vibration, competence. It's about a wealth-generating force that is guided by the ideal of nobility, sensitivity, and service. A huge creative force under the guidance of the deep feminine. This is the key to material success. And I'm not referring to females. It's not about women being on top, not necessarily. It's about the guidance of the deep feminine. The ancients named this hexagram, this frequency, possession in great measure, because they recognized that this combination pointed to success in any endeavor. And this is why the 14th shadow is about poverty consciousness. It's as though you have this great inheritance inside, but you're so cheap and you refuse to use any of it. Your family and friends are all starving. It's within your power to help everyone. If you have the 14th I Ching in your energetic profile, or you're contemplating this frequency, contemplate the inner power inside that you have. Especially if you have this 14th I Ching in your energetic profile, then you are born with a great fortune that you don't even know you have. The 14th gift of competence is an emerging gift from the energetic matrix, because it has a lot to do with collective awakening rather than an individual gift. If this gift is applied to selfish ends, it will lead to great misfortune. Great wealth without the ideal of service ends in disaster. So competence is about being a part of something greater, something transcendent, something huge. The 14th I Ching will change the world. It has a particular power in business because it has a driving force of abundance. It's mostly fire unmasking fortune. Personally, I'm very familiar with this energy. I have this frequency 3 times in my energetic profile. Additionally, it's my midheaven point. So this energy is all about fire. It's passion. It's creation from passion. So if you have this energy in your energetic profile, connect to the passion. What lights you up inside? So first, you have to have a vision of higher purpose. What form of service lights you up inside? That aligns with your inner truth, that feels good in the body, that ignites the passion of fire inside. And once you have your vision, you're ready to launch the ship. The universe will bend to your will. The universe has no choice but to serve your vision, but be patient. You must have your vision absolutely clear inside and keep nurturing it. The danger here is greed. The danger is to be tempted to make an inner compromise, to compromise your integrity, to compromise your dream for a shortcut. The more patient you are, the more it picks up speed. The 14th gift of competence is an electrifying force. This energy is not just about being good at things. It contains a spark of enthusiasm that creates a cohesive team, that inspires a group, that sparks inspiration in a group to achieve great things. It's the power of a small team, a small unit, between 3 to 15. It's the power of collective transmutation. All you need is one 14th I Ching in the group, in the small team, as it activates the group aura. It's like a spark in the flame that starts a wildfire by the means of the vision of higher service that the group holds. The 14th I Ching is an indicator of success in an organism. It's not all about money, even though it magnetizes money. It's also about love. It's possession in great measure, which is the definition of love. He or she who loves unconditionally generates, like the sun, huge inner wealth, abundance, and radiance. And this in turn generates friends, opportunity, blessings, and above all, love. It's all about love. It's the way of love, which starts by loving yourself, believing in yourself, in your power. Love is fire. It can't be resisted. It's a divine formula. And this is why we're challenged to love our enemies, not just our neighbors. Your love has to be unconditional, without any strings, just pure love. You'd be surprised how many people with the 14th I Ching and their energetic profile isolate this great power. They'd rather work alone, and it's really because of fear that needs to be transmuted. Most of the time, it's the fear of success, which is the fear of being powerful, which is the 14th shadow of poverty consciousness. You know all those fairy tales where the prince and princess are living in exile and poverty? Until all of a sudden they rediscover their inheritance and they get married and live happily ever after? Those stories, those movies are not just for children. They're for us. They're for the adults. So believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams. In the beginning, it might take some time to build momentum, but over time you will start seeing the magic in the life. People will appear from far and wide to help you, and you won't believe how much joy your heart is capable of receiving. And your only wish will be to share in this great fortune with others. The 14th city, the highest vibration, bounteousness. It's all about gratitude. Bounteousness comes from the vast sense of gratitude. It's gratitude for the spark of life. When you nurture that spark of gratitude inside yourself, it becomes a steady flame. And when you continue to nurture it, it becomes a fire. And when you nurture the fire, it becomes the sun inside you. And that sun inside you is bounteousness. Nothing can extinguish it. The sun gives of itself endlessly. Its gratitude is infinite. It's continually refueled by the power of its own giving. It's bounteousness. It's giving, giving, and giving. Taking is gone. We have reached unity, the whole, which is based on love and giving. Of course, with love and giving, there's receiving, but receiving and taking are very different. Receiving fuels our gratitude. The more we give, the more we're given. The more we're given, the more grateful we feel. Empower this week to create space, get to higher awareness, notice your thoughts, feel all the sensations fully that come up in the body this week, and shine the light of awareness where you may be inner compromising, hiding your power, and sit with it, contemplate it, breathe into it. Be blessed.